History was made in Bogota, capital of Colombia in South America, this week as 12 countries there formally committed to implementing 6 concrete measures against Israel for its crimes in Gaza, marking the first time a non-Western bloc of nations has led enforcement of sanctions against a country deemed to be violating international law. And a Western-backed ally, um, you know, which is unprecedented. The emergency conference of the Hague Group concluded Wednesday, just a couple of days ago, with Bolivia, Colombia, Cuba, Indonesia, Iraq, Libya, Malaysia, Namibia, Nicaragua, Oman, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, a very small country, and South Africa, last but not least, pledging immediate action through their domestic legal systems and saying Israel's going to pay, basically, for their crimes in Gaza. These measures include preventing arms transfer to Israel through any of these countries, blocking military vessels from docking at any of these countries' ports, starting immediately, ever, reviewing public contracts to end complicity with Israel's occupation, economically, less pressure, and ensuring accountability for war crimes through robust investigations and prosecutions, meaning any individuals from Israel or collaborators that these countries can get their hands on will meet the full force of the law, will be treated like criminals, unlike in America where Benjamin Netanyahu got a standing ovation and continuous applause from everyone in Congress. It was dystopian, guys. Around 20 additional countries also attended this Bogota summit and are being called upon by the 12 that signed these measures against Israel. They're being called upon by the initial 12, the leading 12, to implement these measures as well by September 20th. Why September 20th? Because that's the day of the next UN General Assembly, when officials from every country recognized on Earth on the world stage comes together and starts yammering about a variety of things. This bloc can say, we put our money where our mouth is. We stopped this and got to action, which is more than you guys did. So they want the group of countries that actually took action to be larger in number by that day. This whole thing represents a seismic shift in global power dynamics. For decades, international law has been selectively applied. A bit here, definitely not a bit there, typically enforcing accountability only against poor non-Western states, while powerful Western allies in the West, like Israel, enjoyed complete impunity. It doesn't matter if you do anything. Once have rules for the West, once have rules for the rest, right? Don't worry about it, we. Don't worry, we got you, we. And then, non-Western countries started imposing sanctions. They're like, oh, what are you doing? Those rules, they're not for me. What's going on, brother? Oh, brother, what's that, brother? Sorry, Muhammad Bablos is definitely not Israel. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, the West has consistently shielded Israel from consequences, even as UN experts, international courts, and humanitarian organizations world over document systematic crimes against the Palestinian people in Gaza. No problem. And the West Bank. No problem. Then, Mafi Mushkila. Don't worry, Israel. We got you. They don't say Mafi Mushkila, the Western countries. They're not Arabs, obviously. But you get the point. China's participation in this coalition, this bloc in Bogota, that the global indicates that the global South is not this sort of weak grouping of random countries, right? It's got its backing from strong major powers. They just happen to be non-Western powers, which is why you don't hear much about it. But this marks the emergence of a new moral center in world politics, one shifted away from the West that seemed to be blind in one eye, only can see crimes when it's committed by brown people or poor countries, right? Global South countries. Apparently no more. As Colombian President Gustavo Petro declared, these nations came to Bogota, its capital city, to make history, and they succeeded, beginning the work of ending the era of impunity. When the history books are written, this is one of the things that I imagine will be a nice little paragraph that year 9 kids or whatever start reading about. Or like, this is what Israel was doing. This is how basically the world stood by. There was a lot of talk from some. There was silence from others. There was complicity supporting Israel by others, shockingly. And they'll be like, I can't believe it. Wow, how did they support that? Same way we read about World War II and Germany. Same situation. Very similar situation, not same situation. And there'll be a paragraph probably talking about how these 12 were the leading countries that said, okay, time to actually take action. Maybe another 20 will join them. Maybe even more will join them eventually. Time will tell. The message, though, is clear. International law will no longer be treated as optional for Western countries or Western aligned countries, and Palestinian lives will no longer be considered disposable. With over 58,000 Palestinians already confirmed to have lost their lives, and 2 million on the brink of starvation. 2 million on the brink today in 2025, right? There's kids, guys. There's mothers. There's innocent civilians with no food. Not because of some, there's some dirt poor country because of colonization in the past. Maybe they're in some dirt poor country. There's just been a famine. There's been a drought. No, there's food a mile away. This is engineered by the Israeli state to starve civilians into submission. Welcome to 2025. And some people actually support this. Some people support this somehow, right? These 12 countries, in this day and age, these 12 countries, these leading countries have shown that coordinated state action grounded in international law is possible. Challenging the Western narrative is possible. And yes, mates of Western nations, mates rates, shocking. I know you expected not to be held accountable, but yes, even Western countries or Western aligned countries can be criminals too. I know, shocking. Oh my God. The 20 countries who attended the summit and were called upon to join the leading 12 in implementing the 6 measures against Israel are as follows. It is expected that they will, it is hoped by the leading 12 countries that these countries will also join and sanction Israel, essentially. Algeria, Bangladesh, Brazil, Chile, China, Djibouti, Honduras, Ireland, Lebanon, Mexico, Norway, Pakistan, potentially. Some of these on the list I'm not entirely sure about, guys, sorry. But there's so many articles flying around. Some countries attended, some countries didn't. It was quite low-key in that sense. You couldn't be sure who was there. Anyway, Portugal, Qatar, Senegal, Spain, Turkey, Uruguay, Egypt. I think that's it. I've got Algeria on this list, but I think I said Algeria at the start. Time will tell how things turn out, and I'll be here to report to you the news and the analysis, unbiased and without the Western spin. I'll see you on the next one. I'm Marcus.